Good morning, I'm Kristen Folletti and welcome to News Desk on SiliconANGLE TV for Friday, March 15th, 2013. Yesterday, Samsung hosted an extravagant event at Radio City Music Hall in New York City to show off their latest flagship smartphone, the Galaxy S4. After early leaks and rumors, will the new Galaxy model live up to all the hype? Here to tell us more about Samsung's prize pony is SiliconANGLE contributing editor John Casaretto. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
John, there's a lot of strange things being said about the S4's launch event at Radio City Music Hall yesterday. Some are saying all the fanfare may have overshadowed the new smartphone's introduction. So tell us about the event. Why is it receiving so much attention?
Well, as you said, grand event, Radio City Music Hall, just a lot of hype. The Samsung S3 was very successful phone, and it still is. It continues to be to this day, worldwide and domestically. So its successor was very much anticipated, and this is the first launch on U.S. soil in a long time, and that's significant because this is Apple's turf, and that's their biggest competitor. So, they built a lot of hype for this one. They took this thing in downtown, biggest city in the world, New York City, and there's a lot of people watching. So, they wanted this attention. They're saying, hey, we've arrived, and there's been a lot of people who are just fans and, looking at this from the outside, and they're just keeping eyes on this thing.
Samsung's Galaxy S3 is currently the world's most popular Android phone, having sold over 40 million units. What can you tell us about the design and the feel of its successor, the S4, compared to the S3?
Well, yeah, that was the interesting thing. Once the phone was revealed, clearly we got some leaks and stuff in the days and weeks preceding this, but they kept the phone very similar, obviously a very similar form factor if you take a look at it. But it's kind of hard to tell, at a quick glance. But they kept it very similar, and it looks and feels very similar to the S3. But they've managed to increase the screen size, make the phone lighter, and then introduce a whole bunch of features and things like that, and pretty much upgrade the phone.
Tell us about some of the main features, like the display, the memory, the camera.
Yeah, so they've bumped the display up to a 5-inch screen, an AMOLED display. It's got a processor. It's 1.9 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon processor. The operating system is Jelly Bean. The camera is a 13-megapixel camera with their Samsung features. The 2-megapixel front-facing camera, and it comes in a configuration. It's got the RAM. It's 2 gigabytes. And it has different options for memory, 16, 32, and 64 gig options.
What would you say are some of the standout features that the phone offers?
Well, I think that a lot of people were looking at the phone and they were expecting a whole bunch of software features and new ways to interface, and it seems like we got that. And those were some of the big rumors. But some of the biggest things I think were interacting with the phone with Air View, which is it's a bit like the Galaxy Note without the pen, the stylus. The proximity, the air gesture. There's a number of cool features that have come out with the phone, and it's more than just a mild warm over. They've changed the form factor, somewhat the size and the feel of the phone. So they've done that, but they've also delivered on these software features and these interface features as well.
Previously on the show, we reported on rumors about an eye-tracking auto-scrolling feature. Did any of those rumors turn out to be true?
Well, it's sort of. I think some of the rumors really kind of gravitated towards complete phone control, and it really didn't come out that way. So this works more like it's like a front-facing camera interface that detects whether your head is facing the phone directly, and it can stop the display from dimming. It combines with the tilt function. It creates a better readability of certain web pages and things like that instead of scrolling through it. So you can basically read pages easily. You can set videos to pause if you look away and so on. So, it does interact with you without, an actual touching of the phone. So, it's got that sort of tracking built into it.
You mentioned something about an air gesture functionality. Can you tell us more about that and also about the S Health feature?
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, the S Health it's one of these features. It's like a Fitbit. It's got a built-in pedometer. It can track your activity throughout the day, how many calories you're burning, how far you've walked, whether you've gone upstairs, how long you've been sitting. I mean, just everything. And it also has the capability to track the calories that you consume by allowing you to input, what you're eating. So it's kind of gravitating towards this health device, and it's integrated into the phone. So that's pretty neat. The air gestures allows you to take touch actions and lets you interact with the phone without actually touching the phone, which is pretty handy if you live somewhere like I do in Colorado, where you've always got gloves on and maybe they're really thick, and if you can tune it right, you can interface with the phone and do that kind of thing. So it allows you to interface with the phone and assign gestures, the email, the open things, and that kind of thing without actually touching the phone, which is pretty neat.
We've also heard rumors about a function that allows you to use your phone as a remote. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, definitely. It's got an IR device in it, and it allows you to interface with your television, so you can fully program. It's actually a very smart control. It's not simply volume up, volume down. So it has that functionality as well, and it's something that I lose the remote all the time. I got 4 kids, and you never know where the remote is, and so that's a pretty neat feature.
Samsung also introduced some gadgets and accessories for the S4. Anything of note there?
Yeah, they released a whole range of stuff to go along with it, and I guess I would have to point to like the external health band. It's a band that kind of complements the S-Fit application that's on there. Also, the S-View cover was another feature that kind of stood out. It's got a little screen on it that tells information from the phone, like who's calling, and a bunch of things like that. Without actually having to touch the phone, you can from afar. If you have the phone sitting somewhere, you're sitting at work. So pretty neat cover, but yeah, sure there's going to be lots more stuff coming out here over the weeks and months to come.
How do you think the S4 stands up to its rival competitor, the HTC One?
Well, the HTC One is clearly a leading-edge rival phone. It's got lots of fans and a lot of people. It's a very close deal. A lot of these phones are contending, but the S4 is pretty much it's destined for a lot of success. The S3 hugely successful. Samsung's a popular platform, and I think that I think a lot of people are going to look at the Samsung and all the hype that's going along with it, and gravitate towards this platform. And HTC One's definitely got their fans, but I think that in the end, I think that the Samsung and all the things that it has going for it, a lot of people are looking at this phone and saying, yeah, that's the phone for me.
At this time, do we have any information concerning a price point or a release date?
Unfortunately, that information's kind of light. We do know it's coming out in the second quarter, so coming up. But they did state that the price would be in line with their other existing smartphone lines. So if nothing changes on a contract basis, we're probably looking at a $199 type of deal, maybe a little bit more, but something in line with that. So it's not going to be extravagant, but we don't have any numbers beyond that.
John, overall, do you think the S4 is innovative enough to replace the S3, or do you feel this is more a scenario like Apple's launch of the iPhone 5, where many believe the updates weren't enough to warrant a new model?
Well, I think there's going to be some people sniping at that a little bit because, it is a very similar phone, and the screen size did increase, but I think a lot of people have been looking at this Samsung 4, waiting for this for so long that it's going to attract a lot of people, and I think that although it is kind of an upgrade or an update of the older phone with obviously bigger phone, and it's faster and it's got a bunch of new features, I think that this is kind of a nice segue where Samsung has plans to release their own OS and non-Android OS, kind of a peek into the future, and we're going to be seeing some of these phones start to emerge here over the next few months and the summer on their own operating system, and I think that we're going to see some great new stuff coming out of Samsung. Now, in terms of this S4 versus the S3, again, I think that we're going to see some very much a continued success pattern as the S3 had. Now, will it have that explosion? No, but I think it's enough to get some good growth, and a lot of people are going to look at this phone and say, hey, that's the phone that I want because it's the leading phone, and that's the takeaway that we're seeing in a lot of places is that this is the leading phone right now compared to the iPhone 5 and anything else that's out there. The S4 is a leading phone. It's up there in the top 1, 2, or 3 if you want to put it there. But yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Well, John, thanks again for your time this morning. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
And coming up this morning on News Desk, all of today's top tech headlines in one place with your SiliconANGLE Daily Roundup. But first, SiliconANGLE founding editor Mark Risen-Hopkins joins us to discuss the latest call for action surrounding the CISPA security bill. That's up next on SiliconANGLE TV.